Krissy Dunn, and I'm the Curator of History at the South Carolina Confederate Relic Room and Military Museum. One of my jobs here at the Confederate Relic Room and Military Museum is taking care of our library and archives. And we actually have some library books, or books in general, that date back prior to the Civil War and during the war itself. And I want to show you a few examples that we have here in our collection. We have a number of Civil War period Bibles in our collection, and this is one of the ones we have from Rufus Sally, and he was in the 8th Battalion Reserves. Now, a lot of our Bibles aren't in great shape, but we do the best we can to help preserve them for future generations. As you can see, this was actually a standard issue Bible that would have been given to soldiers in the field. We don't know much about Rufus Sally, except that he was at some point associated with an R.E. Berry and at the 1st Louisiana Hospital, which was actually in Charleston, South Carolina. But this is just a very standard example of a New Testament that soldiers would have carried in the field. This Bible is actually an interesting battlefield souvenir. Originally it belonged to John Miller of the 100th Regiment. We're not still sure what state he's from, just John Miller being a very standard issue name at the time. But at some point this Bible is actually picked up at the Battle of Jones Farm on September 17, 1864 by R.J.M. Steele of the Company I 12th South Carolina Infantry. And that's how the Bible eventually ended up here in our collection. A lot of times when things came to us, people would already put out the history on the front, but the soldiers themselves recorded it inside. This Bible belonged to Lawrence Cavanaugh of Company B, the 5th South Carolina Cavalry, and although it looks very nondescript from the outside, it has a very interesting inscription on the inside. It says, "If I should die in hospital or in battle slain, I hope some Christian for the sake of humanity will inform my friend James Bale of Augusta, Georgia." So just a very interesting way to try to get news to his family and friends if he's killed in battle. Thankfully, he was not killed in battle. He did make it through the war. This text is a little bit different. It's not a standard Bible. It does have some writing in it, but it's actually the words of Jesus. Which was a period publication, 1859. This belonged to a gentleman by the name of R.S. Disports, and he actually ended up writing in it a list of all the battles that he engaged in. So it really became a very personal object to him in more ways than one. Now, not everything in our collection is so serious. You do hear stories about soldiers carrying Bibles into battle with them and getting shot by a bullet and the Bible saving their lives, and we actually do have an example of that on display. But one more light-hearted example, this text was actually pierced by a bullet. You'll see the hole there. It goes through a few pages. This was called the Repository of Wit and Humor. So I'm sure the soldier himself got quite a chuckle that it was a book on wit and humor that saved his life. Now, these are just a few examples of objects that we have from soldiers, and we're currently still collecting soldiers' belongings, including Bibles from all wars, up into the present day. So this is an expanding collection that we're just really thrilled to have.